but the actual principle that is agreed upon by all Muslim scholars, there's no debate about this, all right? That pretty much in everything, for the most part, is that the default position of something new is that it's halal unless you can prove that it's haram. You don't have to prove that it's halal. You have to prove that it's haram in order for it to be haram or prohibited in Islam. So the first thing is, when it comes to Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, it's brand new. Before we understand it, we say, okay, this might be just fine. Let's see if we can identify anything clear-cut that causes it to be prohibited or haram in Islam. So in economics, there are two main principles that could make a transaction haram. That's the only thing that can pretty much cause it to be haram. It either has elements of riba is interest, or it has elements of gharar. All right? Gharar means something that is, there's uncertainty or a high level of uncertainty in it. Or if something is like, for example, there's unknown, something is uncertain. So if you look at all the rules pertaining to Islamic economics, it's got to have either riba or gharar inside of it in order to be prohibited. Otherwise, most likely, it's going to be considered halal or permissible in Islam. Okay, so I'm going to go into a little bit of detail here because I know this is being recorded. Other people are watching this. Even some scholars are going to be watching this later. So I'm going to do a little bit more detail, so bear with me.
What is the Islamic ruling on cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies are a new form of decentralized commodities, and the point of cryptocurrencies is to be a type of currency that is not backed by a government, it's not backed by a known institution, it's not backed by the banks. Last year, the Fiqh Council of North America dedicated a significant amount of time to talk about cryptocurrencies in our meeting, in our annual meeting, and we went over this issue in a lot of detail, and by unanimous consensus we issued a fatwa. To be more precise, we will be issuing a fatwa within a week or two, but the fatwa has been finalized. Cryptocurrencies, firstly, our fatwa is about Bitcoin only, not about all of the currencies, because every currency has its own ruling. The general ruling is that we did not find any reason to prohibit cryptocurrency, and therefore it remains at the default, and the default is that everything is halal unless proven otherwise. Memorize this simple principle, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. So we looked at every single criticism of cryptocurrency, and we looked at a number of fatwa committees around the globe. Some of them said it is haram, some of them said it is halal, and we looked at this in detail. And from us in North America, we concluded that none of them raised objections to the level that it makes it haram. And we said it is halal to mine it, it is halal to invest in it and buy and trade in it, but the value of fiat currency will apply to cryptocurrency, which means spot trades must occur. You must trade it on the spot value right then and there. When you purchase, you get your money back. You cannot just delay and have an unknown value. Just like if I exchange dollars for pounds, if I exchange rupees for liras, it has to be done instantaneously, yadan biyad. And we concluded the fatwa by saying that even though we say that it is halal, still there seems to be a gray area, and especially in terms of safety, in terms of wisdom. We as the Fiqh Council, it's not our job to give investment advice, but we do agree with those investors who said, do not invest in cryptos more money than you're willing to lose, because the Muslim is not foolish, and we should not spend our money foolishly. But the base ruling, cryptocurrencies, and in particular Bitcoin that we looked at, is halal.
And I'll discuss some of the points which some of the scholars, and they're respectable scholars, who have said that it's haram based on these points. And these are some respectable scholars, okay? I have a lot of respect for them. But I have to say, sadly, some of them made some points which they're really weak, to be honest. So one of the main points people use, they say, oh, this is just internet money. No, anybody can do it. And that's not true. And look, I'm not going into the technical details of how cryptocurrency works. There's a lot of videos on YouTube of people who are better in the technical aspects of it, who are going to explain to you in a better way. Please go listen to that. But it's not just virtual money which people think, oh, you can just make it yourself. It's not like that. Number two, they would say that, oh, it's not pegged against gold and silver. And we know that gold and silver are the only real currencies, the dirham and the dinar and the dirham. Well, that's true, but that's also not true. And that does not make it haram. Why? Because there's nowhere Islamically where it says that only gold and silver are currency or units of value or mediums of exchange. Nobody ever said that. And the fact that they're not pegged against the gold and silver does not make them haram. Why? Because that will make your money today haram to use. I'm sorry to give you this news if you didn't know it yet. None of that is backed or pegged against the dollar or against the gold and silver. That ended long time ago. It's literally pieces of paper who we choose to give value to because we have trust in it. And our governments issue that. So that's not a point to make crypto haram. Another point which I heard from one of the great sheikhs, in fact, in the Middle East, and I was really surprised for him saying that. He said, oh, we don't know this person who made this. Tomorrow, if he literally, he's saying something which means if he closes shop and disappears, all your money, your 1 million, 2 million riyal will disappear. And this shows that people don't understand what cryptocurrency is. In fact, cryptocurrency, that's a pro. That's an advantage. That's one of the benefits of cryptocurrency. It's decentralized. It's not made by one person. How many countries everybody knows that the bank goes bankrupt or it closes and your money is gone. That happens in banks. With crypto, that can never happen because you own your own coins. But you have to understand that's the power of crypto. You own it yourself, and the only way a coin is made is because it's, for layman terms, it's within the internet. It's a bunch of people who together form this thing. It's not one person. The next point which people say to try to make it haram, they said, oh, it's very volatile. It's just like gambling. It could be up, in 1 hour it could go 10% rise, and then it could fall tomorrow another 20%. That's true. But that does not make it haram. Because why is it like that? It's because crypto goes with the market. There's demand, it goes up. People are selling, it goes down. Oh, the last point, this is something I was missing. This is very important. They say it's going to be halal only and if it gets government approval. If all the governments approve it. Now I am shocked about that, because my answer to that is that crypto has existed now for what? 10 years, maybe more? But becoming famous at least 6, 8, 10 years. If this was illegal, then your government would have shut it down. The fact that the governments have not shut it down and have not said it's illegal, it makes it, they approve it. And I'm going to say to you again, your government is not going to push you to buy crypto because it's not good business for them. They did not ban it. That tells you it's legal. Why are you waiting for the government approval? What is that?